Hey everybody, it's me again, Treasures Galore. Hey, I wanted to do a video about the chapter Tea with Olga. Shannon Utz put out a video that I really liked a few days ago, and I thought I'd kind of give my interpretation of this chapter because I am a book purist and I've studied this book quite a bit. So I just kind of want to give my take on it. Mostly talking about the colors of the teas, but also kind of giving an overview of the whole story and just going through my thoughts and ideas about it, I should say. So there's a few things to talk about in this. So I don't think I'm gonna read it all to you, but he goes on to Olga Savoda, and I'm probably gonna butcher that. Um, don't make fun of me. So, anyways, this lady lived right behind his business in a space that was much too small, even for one person. Her bathtub was just 36 inches long and looked crowded in her bathroom. And that's been widely talked about, right? Because you got 36 inches long, you got 36 longitude, as in a Latin long. I know a lot of people have brought that up. I know Mike Cowling mentioned that in one of his previous videos, and I personally think it is something Forrest Fenn threw in there to get people to look at Latin longs. But, if you want to go that direction, more power to you. It's just not a direction that I have personally chose to go down. So anyways, I'm going to give an overview and then I'm going to go through a few other things. Then one day, he went to her and her attorney was there. She told him that he had cancer, or she had cancer, and that she would state in her will that he could have her little house, if he took her ashes and spread them out on Taos Mountain to be with her father, because that's where her father's ashes were. So he takes her in this plane to go take a look at it, and she said it was kind of an outrageous adventure, whatnot, and he joked about the irony of his plane wrecking with her ashes on board, as being nature's ultimate affront. So then it goes on to say that, she passed away, and then he took her ashes and spread them out on the mountain so she could be with her father again. Okay, so let's go into it a little more in depth. So I talked about the 36 inches long bathtub that she had. Now I want to go into the colors of teas. That's, again, has been widely talked about. So you got red, black, and green teas. And people, bring up, oh, that's a color of this flag, or, if you mix these colors, you get brown. I think it's way, way more simpler than that. And this is what I believe. So I'm going to read right here. So read from the beginning. Okay, so when I offered to move her into a condo and pay all of her housing expenses forever if she would trade me her little casita, she smiled. She knew I wanted to expand my gallery space and declined, of course. So we laughed and drank red tea. So what's happening in this paragraph? So he's wanting to buy this casita because he's a businessman. He's an ambitious businessman trying to expand his gallery, and make it better and get more money. And this lady who has a small little house, you know what I mean? Her bathtub is super small, and he's saying, "I will pay for everything and all your expenses forever if you just give me this so I can expand my gallery." And she said no, because she knew that's what he wanted to do. Now, at the end it says that they laughed and drank red tea. Well, would you laugh if you were Forrest Fenn about that? Or would that kind of make you angry that you're offering this lady a very generous offer and she declines just because she knows what you want to do? Now, to me, and maybe this is just me, but that would make me a little angry, maybe. So I think that he was angry in this paragraph, and they drank red tea. Well, the color of red goes on. There's a list of a lot of things, but two of them are rage and anger. So, in my opinion, I'd be angry. So they drank red tea. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Okay, so then one day she asked me to go to her. When I arrived, her attorney was present. The mood turned somber when she said she was dying of cancer and needed a favor. Her plan was for me to spread her ashes on top of Taos Mountain, and in exchange, she would state in her will that I could have her little rooms at the appraised value. She loved the sacred old mountain, with its strong ponderosa and aspen groves that blanketed its landscape so completely. She said her father's ashes were there, and she wanted to be with him again. The deal was struck, so we sipped black tea and nibbled on Oreos. Okay, so what's this paragraph about? Well, she has cancer, and she wants for him to spread her ashes. Okay, so I mean, you have a death vibe, you know what I mean? She has cancer, it's gonna die. The mood is somber. Well, what color of tea did they drink? She drank black tea. Now, what does the color black mean? The color black, there's a few, but it says in this death. Death is the color meaning black. Okay, so you got cancer, somber mood, black tea. Okay, what's the last color of tea? It is green. So, let me read this last one. I know Olga's spirit was pleased when her white bone fragments filtered through the small window and softly floated down to a place where the chamisa and mountain laurels were blooming, and chipmunks scurried around all year. When my plane and I turned south for home, I felt a serene sense of warmth and satisfaction. Olga was at peace at last, and I suspected that she may be having green tea with her father. Time had taken them apart, but it eventually brought them back together again. Okay, so drops her ashes off at this place, and he imagines Olga being peace. He felt a serene sense of warmth and satisfaction. Like I said, peace and just an overall good feeling, right? That she's back together again with her father. And they drank green tea. What's the color of green mean? The color of green. The color of green is life, renewal, nature, energy, associated with meanings of growth, harmony, freshness. So to me, all these colors of tea in here just kind of represent the feeling of the paragraph that he's talking about. Warmth and peace, and then you got freshness and harmony as the meaning of the color green. So I think he's just kind of, he's a writer, and he put those colors of a green tea to kind of as a metaphor for what he's talking about in those sentences. I don't necessarily think that the colors are something super important as defining the treasure, because I know, well, at least I think, that he would look at that and know that that's something that's going to really stand out, and a lot of people are probably going to look into. And so I think he just threw that in as, just him as a writer. But that could be me, guys, but that's kind of what I take on the colors and Tea for Olga. But there's a few other things I wanted to talk about also. So we got the 36-inch long, as in longitude, bathtub. We got the red, black, and green teas. But I also wanted to bring up another thing. So in this, he's talking about, so she was dying with cancer. Well, when Forrest had the idea of hiding the treasure chest, he was dying of cancer at the time, and he had the thought of death, right? But I think it's interesting that he mentions a will. And so I can't really prove this at all, but I've always kind of thought that something in the treasure chest had to do with some part of Forrest Finn's will, as in getting something in his estate that would give you incentive to announce that you found the treasure. Because in my opinion, there has to be something in the chest that would give financial incentive for the finder to at least contact Forrest Finn and tell him that he's found the treasure. And that's just my opinion. I don't know what else. If you have an idea, I would love to hear it. But money's the biggest motivator, right? And I feel like there's probably something in the chest that gives a motive financially for the finder to say something. But that's my opinion. It's kind of vague. It just states a will, but that's kind of what popped up in my brain. But another thing that I thought was funny too is that she wanted her ashes to be with her father. Now, could that be a metaphor saying that this Forrest's special place is somewhere where he, shared with his father? Maybe his brother. I don't know. That's something else that popped up in my brain also. But I think the will is a kind of interesting thing to think about, most definitely. And then you got okay, so if you haven't seen my video about why I think the treasure is in Montana, you should check it out. I did bring up this in that video, and I hate to repeat myself, but I'm going to bring it up really quick. And it is about the recurring theme of Forrest Finn heading north and then heading south back home. You got this one, dying of cancer. He's heading north to spread his ashes, as in he's going to go kill himself on the treasure chest. And then returning south for home, because he obviously didn't do that because he got better, right? And then you got the chapter in Too Far to Walk of heading north. There was no greater freedom than heading north, and he would be by himself. He makes that known. He didn't want anyone to help him open up the hangar doors. And he would go north, and he would go at least 600 miles. He didn't have to worry about where he's going to land for at least 600 miles. Now, I think there's a very good reason why he said that it was 600 miles. I think that's kind of a hint that saying not in New Mexico, not in Colorado, mostly in the Wyoming, Montana border, Borders bookstore. So there's a whole bunch of reoccurring themes of heading north. If you haven't checked out that video, check it out. It's one of my earlier videos. It's before I learned how to do this screen recording. So, well, that is about it for this video. Like I said, it was going to be pretty short. Just kind of an overview of what I think this chapter means in his book. I think it's a good one. Don't necessarily the colors mean anything. Sorry to ruin anyone's parade, but like I always say, man, this is just my opinion, and there's a good chance that I'm wrong. But this is kind of just the way I see it. So anyways, think I'm going to make a quick video about the Homa Brown in my next one, and then I also kind of want to go through different books besides The Thrill of the Chase, Too Far to Walk, and Once Upon a While. And I'm going to tell you right now, I do not believe that there's any hints in other books or anything like that. Some of it might help you. I found a lot of interesting stuff in those books that I want to share to people. Some of it's been talked about. Some of it hasn't been talked about. But I kind of want to bring it up just in case someone wants to go that route. Maybe I can help someone out. I personally am not going that route right now. I'm just sticking pretty much to The Thrill of the Chase, Too Far to Walk, and Once Upon a While. But in Too Far to Walk and Once Upon a While, if I find something that I can't directly correlate back to The Thrill of the Chase, then I don't go with it. So that's kind of just my take on it. I feel like he released The Thrill of the Chase, and everything that you need to know is in that book. But I also believe that Too Far to Walk and Once Upon a While kind of give more hints to what the hints are in The Thrill of the Chase, if that makes sense. And I've made some videos about taking in the canyon down and Terry Scant with Marvel Gaze and stuff like that. So check out my videos if you guys haven't. Like and subscribe. I thank you for all my subscribers right now. I think I'm like 160. It's about 160 more than I thought I'd ever have. So thank you guys. But alright, well, that's the end of this video. I'll be making new content here in the next few days. So stay tuned.